What's up, guys? Welcome to the Don't Panic podcast, or the DPP for short. This is actually last week's episode. If you want today's episode, head on over to patreon.com/Don't Panic Podcast. You'll get early access to all of our podcast episodes, as well as access to our monthly bonus episodes, and they're all ad-free over there. Once again, that's patreon.com/Don't Panic Podcast. Now, please enjoy this free episode. Peace. Hey everyone, welcome to the Don't Panic podcast. I am Jed. That is Mikhail. I'm putting where his screen is going to be. And we're here to talk about some stuff and some things, some news, some recent events. We're going to throw our holy can't think of the word. Unnecessary opinion.
Yes, our unwarranted, unprofessional, not backed up by any sort of, degrees, certifications, and things of that nature. We're just guys, who spend our time on the internet and have, just at least a college level ability to research and contextualize information. And today we're here to talk about some shit that's going on, and hopefully you can feel a little less panicked and a little more prepared.
Guys on the internet with opinions, tell me where you've heard that one before.
Oof. There's definitely kind of too many of us, but it's fine.
Yeah,
I will become the human ape of the left. That's the move.
You said the human ape?
Yeah, man. That's what I think Hassan Piker calls Joe Rogan. He just calls him the human ape. I'm just like, yeah, that's who he is. And I like that. I like that idea. Apes are grand. They're fucking great animals.
Oh yeah, I want to be the Shikamaru of the left.
You are I want to say that is possible. However, I don't know what you're like in an academic setting. And two, from like my experience, you are a very dedicated and hardworking individual. Not to like start this off with us just tooting our own fucking horns, but This guy, to our audience and our lovely patron, this guy is always on top of shit. He's got his editing down. He fucking figures out the audio, even though that's not necessarily his speciality. And he helps keep us all together. And it's a grand old thing.
I can tell you in college, I definitely lazed my way through it and still came out like graduating with honors. But I definitely like took online classes and like cheated on a lot of tests and stuff.
That's fair. I definitely have. I handed in most of my assignments right at the end of the semester. I had like this is for all of our high school age listeners. Fucking high school teachers lie to you. They are lying to you about what college is like. My junior and senior and second senior year.
Right.
I had a second senior year because I got injured and took time off, but also because I failed classes in my freshman year. But we're not going to talk about that anyway. No, teachers in college are very much super chill. They will come in sandals. They will come in hungover and be like, you know what, man, we're doing massages today. I mean, that's specifically for like dance school and stuff. But like, I had just a bunch of teachers who were like, there were a couple of us all in classes, who were really swamped with our major stuff, and we're doing like these, research papers and whatnot. And the classes are still very important, even though it's not super relevant to like our majors. And that's kind of like the stereotype of art students. We really care about our specific stuff, and we'll let everything else fall by the wayside. that being said, like I literally had like 3 or 4 teachers who let me hand in literally every assignment at the end of the semester and graded me as if, I had handed them in on time. And they're like, listen, dude, you keep showing up to fucking class and taking notes. I don't know why you don't have the assignments. All of your input is grand, but like you haven't handed me shit. And like I keep forgetting because I keep going out to dance and not writing things.
Yeah. Um, I failed a bunch of classes my freshman year also because I kept going and hanging out with my friends and going down to River Street to dance for money and doing all that stuff. Not that kind of dance for money, but maybe that kind of dance for money. You don't know what I'm talking
It's
about.
kind of that kind of dance for money sometimes. Listen,
Sometimes, yeah.
dude, a little off topic, but I actually like spent uh, like 2 weeks going back and forth and making money street performing in New York while I was rehearsing for this little short tour around
Mm,
Tennessee and Virginia. I worked with this band with like a couple of local artists from that area. One dude named Jake Bain. Shout out to Jake Bain. He's a fucking amazing singer. That dude's got pipes.
word.
And then this cellist Dave Egar. But during the time, we're rehearsing for this thing um, with this dance company who's also doing it, Hammer Step. Just a little plug right there. Anyway, I would go up to New York, spend like 2 3 days there, have no money, and just street perform the entire time, and pay my way and buy myself a couple chicken sandwiches. Shit was grand. Street
Word.
performing. Oh, good times. That's a skill. If you can go outside and do your thing, whatever that thing is, you make a couple of bucks.
What?
Oh, I was gonna say it's fucking grand, and I can see how like going out and street performing could be something that would distract you from classes. It should distract me from classes. Just tying it
Yeah.
all back
I
together.
mean, yeah. There's no shame in graduating late. I graduated late. I graduated a semester late. So
Yeah, dude. As long as you get the degree and find the path, get on the wave, you'll be all right.
yeah.
Just
And
finish.
in the end, once you have the degrees and all that, it's not like it really matters. No one's
Exactly.
asking you how long it took you to do it.
Right, and they don't really
So
care about your grade point average. Unless
no. I
unless
mean,
you've got like a fucking like a summa cum laude or a I come quietly. Um,
I
you
come
know,
loudy.
I come loudy, I come quietly. Those
Yeah.
little things. God, I gotta. Where's your? Oh, I goofed and I didn't and I put your face away. There we go. Now I have. There we
You're
go.
fine. Yeah, even then they don't care because I have a cum lord on my um on my diploma. No one's ever cared.
Really,
Um,
that's nuts.
yeah, yeah. I used to call them. I actually accidentally called it that in an interview once because I've been calling it cum lord, super cum lord, and mega cum lord for so long that I said it, and then like I just pretended like I just made like a small goof,
Hmm.
like. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, and I graduated cum lord, and
Excuse me.
luckily they never asked about it. But
Right, they were just like he didn't say that. I misheard. He said
yeah,
come. Mm.
Ew.
But college shit aside, let's get into these topics and the biggest one that is definitely going to be argued about for the next week is Breonna Taylor and the what's the word that I'm looking for? The decision on the court case. The
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
call it a decision. Yeah,
that's that's fucked because I'm pretty sure they only got like what reckless endangerment for shooting the wall or something. Like the charge is super light. The last update that I heard is there are um, somebody somewhere is trying to bump up the charges from this like reckless endangerment or like doing damage to the neighbor's property to manslaughter, which in my opinion, very humbly, is absolutely well below the fucking bar. This is quite possibly one of the most cut and dry situations that everyone should agree upon. You know, the fact of the matter is the cops went to the wrong house with bad information. They were plain clothed. They did not announce themselves. And fucking Kenneth did exactly what every red-blooded, gun-toting, Second Amendment knob slobbering, there we go, motherfucker would do if somebody breaks into my house. Ooh, they're getting the shotgun. You know, like
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't long ago that these pro 2A, gun-toting conservatives, had these memes and signs and all that stuff like, well, we don't call the cops here, we take care of it ourselves, like, um,
exactly.
all I have is uh, my blood, my family, and my guns, it's like, and then,
No, they've got
these
a
are the same people that tout Kyle Rittenhouse as a hero, but, oh, well, Kenneth Walker shouldn't have shot at police who I mean, they used a battering ram to knock their door down.
yeah, like
Yeah,
dude was startled as fuck. He thought, and he fired a warning shot. Like, yeah, he might have hit a cop. Like, big deal. You were breaking into dude's house. Fuck you. Um,
yeah,
like,
and it's it's amazing to me. And here's where I got the New York Times article up right now, and one thing that Brett Hankison said, who is the cop who was charged and convicted of reckless endangerment, he said in his defense, and I quote, "I know that we did the legal and moral thing that night." And it's amazing to me because he doesn't even understand why and what he's being charged with, and why the prosecution came forward with second degree manslaughter charges. It's because if you break it down to the brass tacks, like the pure base, because a lot of people will argue, well, they had a warrant, right, a no knock warrant, and whether or not no knock warrants are ethical is your opinion. It doesn't matter, because from the very get go, they falsified evidence to obtain the warrant.
mm,
They lied to obtain that warrant. So whether or not they had the warrant, or whether or not the warrant claimed that they could do a no knock, it doesn't matter, because the basis for receiving that warrant was a lie. Falsifying evidence is illegal. It means the warrant should be thrown out.
mm,
And the fact that they gave them the warrant without auditing the case and back check, like checking the information, is a
mm.
huge amount of negligence on
Yeah,
their part.
yeah.
Because what they said was they questioned the postmaster, and this is why people are saying, oh, because a lot of people are saying that Jamarcus Glover, her ex boyfriend, was using her address to run a drug ring. Right,
Right.
that is cited as a suggested reason why that they
Mm,
should do this raid.
yeah.
Right, which a lot of people are taking from the court docs as, oh, he was doing that, and they will argue that on but it's not the case. It's a suggestion based on what they said, which is they inquired with the postmaster, who said that packages addressed to Glover were going to Taylor's address.
Mm.
Then later, the prosecution interviewed the postmaster about that, and the postmaster said he was never spoken to by police. He never gave that answer.
So yeah, I mean, it's very uh, that this is something that I didn't know. You can see me reacting to this in absolute real time. Because there's a lot of information to take in, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this, first of all, when the whole Jamarcus Glover thing, sort of started to surface, like as an argument and as a sort of a what is it, the excuse for why this sort of action was warranted, I was like, I didn't even know who Jamarcus Glover fucking was, and I was like, who is this guy? Like, why is he being brought up? And you know, I'm seeing like almost like mixed stories where it's like they'll talk about Jamarcus Glover's actions, right? But they're using Kenneth Walker's name, and it's like that's not even the same guy, you know. Um,
Well,
and then on top of that, Like I posted a TikTok that was like, why it's me doing fucking windmills in it. Why
Mm-hmm.
is Breonna Taylor's boyfriend a criminal, but Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero, right? And people were like, oh, because he's a drug dealer, blah 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 blah. I'm like, that's some other dude that she dated 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like they had no they were done,
Mm-hmm.
and he was already at that point in custody
Mm-hmm.
for his like for his crimes. So like
The only connection they had was that the two of them did used to live at that address. That is her home.
yeah, that's
So
her
when she
spot.
dated somebody, he lived with her, and then they broke up, and he moved out, and that is still her address. And actually listed in the criminal complaint from the family, the prosecution,
Mm-hmm.
is that when Taylor found out that Glover was dealing drugs, and we're not talking about like small, just like dealing some weed on the side,
Right. He's not selling.
he was running a pretty fairly large scale operation
Yeah.
that included illegal firearms and all those things. I mean, these are the facts of the case. She left him. Like
Yeah.
that is the reason why they are not together.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is what you speaking about how people are like talking about Glover but referring to Walker, that kind of thing. Is that it really shines a light on their racism where they don't know the difference between the two and they're just conflating the two people because they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They will do whatever it takes to justify the death of this woman, even if it means being wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, even if it means completely denying reality, and
Yeah.
it's almost it's disappointing how seriously we needed to take this conversation and this discourse
Mm-hmm.
you know, a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? And like really understanding how incredibly insidious and and just fucking low they will go. Like
Mm-hmm.
thinking back on when Trayvon Martin was shot, right? I and this was admittedly back when I was almost on the alt right. Um, yeah, there was a point in time where I was at least for like four months. I knew that certain people referred to me as, oh yeah, that guy's he's a Republican, but he's like kind of cool about it. You know what I mean? Like, because I
Right.
when I brought up my issues with like say Barack Obama, I had like I knew he was from here. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not that fucking stupid, but I don't like this guy. You know what I mean? And there's reasons why. He's not bringing the troops home. He's still exacerbating fucking wars. That shit, like my republicanism and my conservatism, all came from basically the idea of like we could save so much goddamn money by stopping certain things, you know.
Mm.
And eventually, once I realized whose money was going where and why and how, that's when I started to really change my political alignment and get into left theory. But like at that time, I remember being like, oh yeah, like Trayvon. There was news about Trayvon being a fucking like high school bully and drug dealer and whatnot. Yeah, he probably started some shit, and you know, um, like, and that's just so fucked up because he was literally just a kid walking through a neighborhood, and George Zimmerman was told to back down by police. And now
Yeah.
he's a fucking celebrity that sells signed guns. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
y'all,
people.
people will do blackface with a hoodie on and a bag of Skittles and an Arizona iced tea. Like, you can go find that image. It's not, I don't have to make that shit up. And it's sickening. It's, not like this is this situation is terrifying. This is not even terrifying. It's just fucking horrifying. It's morbid.
Yeah.
It's like
And
some of the most
it's
disgusting shit. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's really peeling the veil off, and like last episode, how it's really peeling the veil off for a lot of people who didn't really see the issues and really kind of sat on the sidelines. Like, again, this friend I always talk about, but it's because we talk so much.
Mhm.
Um, now, he's just like, no, he used to play horseshoe theory. He's just like, dude, like, you cannot convince. Like, now he's just like, it's very clear that he still thinks there are idiots on the left, which I think there are the occasional
Oh,
as well.
absolutely. Dude, tankies are
But
fucking
like,
stupid. There are literally people who unironically defend North Korea. I'm going to say this. I am all for solidarity between, the fucking people who identify as lib left and the people who identify as off left. But there are some
mhm,
people, some fucking
yeah,
tankies that are like, oh, dude, DPRK, that's the shit. And I'm like, you're a fucking moron.
yeah,
You
they're the turfs.
Oh god,
That's what they are.
fucking there's turfs, swerfs, fucking hate those people.
Nerfs,
Nerfs,
derfs. Wait.
nerf or nothing. No, but they're all just closet fascists. Like it's
Yeah.
unfortunate. Like there's this really dope human being who does TikTok content talking about fascism, politics, all that nonsense, and there's a pattern of um, like sort of taking the aesthetic of a um, like a subculture and then infecting it with their fasci ideology, and that's
Hmm.
exactly what turfs are. And I, you know, didn't make that connection until I watched this lovely human's TikToks. They've got great green hair and lovely nails, but I can't remember the app right now. I'm gonna message it to you
Yeah.
and put it there. So
That's fine. We can add it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
add it in post.
yeah. So like I was saying, is like, yeah. So rounding back to Breonna Taylor and just sort
Yes,
of
yes, yes.
finishing up here
Sorry.
is that, like, yeah. So they lied to obtain the warrant. So there's step one of your thing. The second one is like, okay, if you think about a no knock raid, right?
Mhm.
They did execute a no knock raid as it is supposed to, because it is a no knock raid.
Yeah,
Now we're talking about the ethics of whether no knock raid should exist, which I think they should not. People will say they should, right? That's going to be a hard one to really. That's not a fact kind of thing, right?
yeah. That's
That's a
one
hard
thing.
one to bring to other people's, like. That's not a. I can put this article in front of you and here are the facts. It's like whether or not you think police should be allowed to do it.
Right.
Frankly, I think it's really fucking oppressive and violent to be able to do that.
I mean,
Their idea is, oh well, it doesn't give the drug dealers time, but now you end up with a situation, right?
yeah,
If someone innocent dies because of this, you can't have this thing, like, it's
exactly.
sorry, it's gone now, you know.
Yeah,
So there's that,
I was gonna say just
and that.
oh, go ahead, go
So
ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say
You
about
good.
the ethics of the no knock raid. It's inherently aggressive, and I don't understand how it is not an escalation of conflict. You know what I mean? Like in any
Mm-hmm.
situation, even if you're at the right fucking place, you know, gearing up for a combat situation like that, jumping in. If you're going, like, say they're doing a no knock raid on an actual fucking drug dealer, and they've got guns and drugs and they got the whole operation. It's fucking Heisenberg's laboratory, right? They bust in like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what's going to happen? There's going to be a lot of shooting around a bunch of volatile chemicals, and all you're going to get is more damage than was absolutely necessary, because you can figure out where the money's going, blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z. Figure out all these other ways that these people are slipping up, and you don't have to fucking bust in there like it's
Mm-hmm.
it's World War II and you're storming Normandy.
Yeah, I actually have a thing about this because, like, when I was in college and I lived with my friend and my girlfriend at the time,
Mm,
in Savannah, our neighbors got raided by SWAT
right.
because they had, they were growing weed in the basement, and weed is like really illegal in Georgia.
Yeah.
And they had like guns and stuff, blah blah blah, yada
Yeah.
yada, right?
They had the
And
drug dealers
that,
right back.
yeah, and that whole case was actually like a big thing because what DEA, like, a DEA person came in and spoke about it and was just like, you did this wrong, and there were children in that house,
Yeah.
right? Like it was a family. It was like three grown men, a grandmother. Like it was like 8 or 9 people, and there were three young children in
Right.
there.
Right.
And one of those scenarios is like if you know that there are people that don't have to deal with the situation there, like all this is a testament to how fucking badly like cops are fucking trained and just how bad these cops specifically were at their job, even if they did the no knock raid correctly.
Yeah.
Was because when you have a situation like this, you are supposed to arrest somebody when they are out of the house. You watch the house, you wait until they leave, and you get them while they're alone. And here's the thing: they didn't need a no knock raid on the basis of what they were doing, because the inquiry says that they needed to ask Breonna Taylor some questions. That doesn't necessitate a no knock raid. That necessitates knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, we're with the police. We want to ask you some questions about your ex boyfriend and connection to Jamarcus Glover."
Yeah.
That's all
Exactly.
that requires.
Right.
So all of this argument about like, well, they had a warrant and this, that, and the third doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so they go through the thing, and so all those things are wrong. They're wrong about all the people who are justifying this. They're wrong about this. They're wrong about that. Then they're gonna say, oh well, he shot at police. Yeah, what else would you do in that scenario if you
Exactly.
don't know who was busting into your house in the middle of the night? And I had someone arguing, right, that
Mhm.
oh well, you're saying she was shot in her bed. She was clearly in the hallway. Why are you playing semantics? It's like that doesn't change anything that happened.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why she was in the hallway is because they both woke up to the sound of their door hitting the floor. A
Right.
heavy door, by the way. And she
Yeah.
was in the hallway and she got struck in the crossfire, you know?
Mhm.
So playing semantics with like that's just like, I mean, it's disgusting.
It.
And the fact, like, I even told someone on a friend's desk, I was like, the fact that you came in with like your only addition to this thread was to correct the fact that she wasn't in her bed, and that she was like laying in the hallway, like, is insane. Like, what are you trying to do here? And she's like, well, she shouldn't have died. Then shut the fuck up and leave it be, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Like you're not helping. You're not adding anything. You're merely
when you do things like that, what you do is you insinuate justification is
yeah.
what you do.
Exactly.
So just shut up, seriously. Like, that's where we are now with Breonna Taylor.
On
Again,
top of
it's
that,
it's a really
actually, I don't know if you've seen this, but Louisville, Kentucky, has been preparing um, for riots since
mhm,
the day is coming to the decision. Like, there's a state of emergency. They're boarding up.
yeah,
Um, they're boarding up businesses. They're boarding up state buildings. They've got armed, like, militarized soldiers getting ready to be deployed. Like, they're looking for a conflict, and they like literally fucking know. They know how wrong they are, and they're just like, "Yep, we're gonna beat your ass regardless." Like, we know you're pissed off, and we were. It feels like they were hoping for this. Like, yeah, man, we're gonna let these guys off, and then everyone's gonna riot, and now we'll have a reason to be like, look at all these misbehaving fucking savages, like,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
so
So, yeah,
to not panic, know that everyone listening, know that that's the story that they're going to try and tell while all of this is
yeah,
going on, while they are continuing to eat away and erode our inalienable rights. They are going to blame us and um poo poo us and find every possible route they can to justify the tyranny that they are putting upon us, and the simps for capitalism and the US, or well, the Trump fucking administration are just going to eat
yeah.
that shit up because they're a bunch of whiny babies who have daddy issues, and they want a big strong man to defend them from the brown people that make them uncomfy.
Yeah. Two things on that. One is it's amazing that the court the officers can say shit like that, like, I knew I did the right thing, blah blah blah, when they knew how badly they fucked up, when after the fact, since they had Glover in custody, they tried to get him to sign a plea deal that would incriminate Breonna Taylor to justify her death.
Yep.
which he refused to do.
Good.
He refused to do it.
Good on him. More honor in a drug dealer than the cops.
Yep, exactly. And the other thing is, was your thing about. Oh my god! You know what? I actually forgot, so I'm gonna have to edit this. I definitely forgot. You said something about like them being afraid of like
Brown people.
the bad brown. Oh yeah. Here we go. Okay, I saw an ad because HGTV is always on while I'm at work,
Yeah.
and I saw a Trump ad, right, and it was a former army lieutenant, right, with like missing a hand or whatever, and he's just like, I need a like we need a real man to lead our military, not Joe Biden with like his soft girly hands. Like I don't trust Joe Biden to lead our military.
Oh
You see
God.
this hand? I lost this blah 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 like um or whatever, and it's like but Trump's the reason why like I still feel proud to not have a hand or something dumb like that. And then it was like I'm Donald Trump and I support this message. And I'm just sitting there at my desk looking at the TV, just like, did Trump write that? Did he write that ad? Because that's insane. This
That
is
is
the most insane thing I've ever seen.
that's quite possibly the craziest fucking thing because that I don't understand military members that support Trump because that dude is a bitch. Like Cadet Bone Spurs played sports in college, but like couldn't go into the military because his feetsies hurt. Oh God, how much did they pay you? What
They're
did they,
real. They're real quiet about the whole bounties thing too, pretending like that one didn't happen.
wait? Elaborate. I forgot about this.
Oh, Russia, Putin, and Russia were putting bounties on U.S. soldiers' heads that were in the Middle East, and Trump knew about it, but didn't do anything or say anything or let anybody know. And he admitted that he knew about it by accident because he's a fucking idiot, and he always does that. You know, his whole like, I knew about Corona, but I wanted like, you fucking moron. Like you're admitting fault. Yeah, he knew about that. He knew that Russia was putting bounties on our soldiers' heads, and just didn't do shit. And that came out. That was a couple months ago, and that came out. And yeah, MAGA military dudes have been real fucking silent about that one.
Where's the beef, military men? I'm just wondering when when are they like we're at the stage of you know fucking people we've captured getting their organs scooped out of them and
Yeah.
all them two-way larpers are nowhere to be found. Fucking Trump talks shit about the military, nowhere to be found. But oh, God forbid Pete Davidson calls Hank Crenshaw a Bond villain. You remember that when they literally made like I'm sorry, um, people were literally like Dave Chappelle wrote a revisionist version of events for Kevin Hart because he made a joke about wanting to like hit his kid if they did something gay. You know what I mean? And it was a homophobic joke, and that so many people went up to bat for that guy. But Pete Davidson calls Hank Crenshaw the fucking dude with a Metal Gear Solid eye patch, a Bond villain, and dude.
I'm pretty sure he has a hook hand, doesn't he? Or am I just, or is that just a lie and I've made that up in my head because he looks like a fucking Bond villain?
He does not have a hook hand. He has both of his hands.
I thought he had a hook hand.
I thought he had a hook hand too. Like as soon as you said
Oh
that, I
my
was like, does he
god.
have a hook hand?
I think my mind just made that up because I mean, look at the fucking dude.
Dude, he's got the eye patch, he needs a hook hand and just a cat. You know what I mean? And then
But one of those mean-faced cats, like the
yeah,
white fur ones, and the cat has a collar that like the cat has a collar that translates its thoughts, and it turns out the cat's actually the evil one, and it's been
mm-hmm.
controlling him.
Yep. Like what's that guy's name in Inspector Gadget?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
Inspector Gadget. Anyway, I thought that singing that song would bring the bad guy's name into my brain, but yeah,
I'm
that
assuming it didn't.
it did not. But he has an evil looking cat, and
Word.
you know, I got That's probably a D minus level reference, and I'm sorry, everybody. I failed you. I'll do better next
No one's going to get that one. So this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Project Reclass. There are 180,000 former service members currently imprisoned. Project Reclass is developing a fully online network simulator to teach computer network fundamentals inside prisons. In the military, we can voluntarily elect to reclassify ourselves from our original specialty, although such reclassifications are usually difficult to achieve. The vocational setbacks introduced by incarceration can be daunting, but we believe in second chances for those with the discipline and determination to break into a new career. Sign up today at www.projectreclass.org/hackday to meet our hardworking team of volunteers and how you can get involved with our outreach, technology, or research initiatives. Again, that is www.projectreclass.org/hackday. Hey, so let's
but
let's run through this real fast because amazingly we're already at like 40 minutes.
Christ.
But yeah, well, some of it's going to get edited out, but yeah. So Supreme Court, I'm sure as everybody knows now, like we did before, because it's happened a little while ago, is Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away at the age of 87. It's very scary because she was one of the last bastions of progressive legislation and holding a lot of things together, which is amazing. Like it's a very telling sign that our government is not set up very well. If one person's death means that we could walk back decades worth of progression. But yeah, so a lot of people are very scared that we're going to see the Supreme Court walk back on things like marriage equality, even things like interracial marriage, which would be crazy, but it could happen because the person that Trump wants to nominate is actually against interracial marriage.
Tom Cotton.
So yeah,
Is that the guy?
but
That's the guy.
it's
right?
a woman actually.
Oh, what?
I think it's a woman.
Who? Who does?
You're gonna have to give me a minute.
I was like, as soon as you said that, Tom Cotton's face was in my brain. I was like, yeah, that guy. He's a fucking terrible person.
Amy Coney Barrett, I think, is her name, or Barbara Lagoa. Those are the two names that are popping up. But yeah, one of those two women are like anti-interracial marriage, and like it's a pretty big part of their platform to become a Supreme Court justice too. So
what?
Yeah. So,
bro,
very scary.
This government, democracy machine broke.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. There's a lot of back and forth fighting with the Democrats and the Republicans because Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell made a big fucking stink back in 2016 when we had about a year left in Obama's term when they wanted to he wanted to nominate Merrick Garland after Justice Anton Scalia's death.
Right.
He got the runaround, and basically what happened was the Republican Senate said we cannot and should not confirm a new justice during an election year.
It was during a lame duck president during an election year, which is like, shut up. It's literally not.
Yeah, but it was almost a year until the election.
Yeah,
it was almost a year until the election. Now we're in election year, and we're about 70 days from the election, and the Republicans want to ram a new one through to ensure that it's Republican one, which basically goes to show that they are not confident that Trump will win.
Yeah, they're absolutely not. And I think that's more, not more problematic, but either way, Trump win, Trump lose, we are in for a fucking rough couple of months, maybe longer, because this shit is the shit has not hit the fan, but it's like doing a Matrix style, like
yeah. It's also really rough that RGB died because like it really hurt Biden's chances to appeal to moderates. Because Republicans who might have voted for Biden or might have not voted for Trump are now going to lean toward Trump just so they can have a Republican Supreme Court justice, because that's a big
Mm-hmm.
piece. And so Biden really hurt himself there because now he's lost sort of the moderate grab, and he already alienated himself from the leftist grab. So where
Yeah.
he's at is he really kind of only has like Democrats and liberals in his pocket right now. Because with the leftists, he did some dumb shit where he was just like, um, if you want if you want a socialist, vote for someone else. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. It's like crazy shit like that. So I mean, a lot of leftists are not like us, and they're not going to vote for him. So
I
um,
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit there because I think that there is a fundamental understanding that at the end of the day, the not even just both of them are going to be harmful in different ways to different minority groups in the United
right.
States. Like Kamala Harris has a record of not being great for Black people and for criminal justice in general. Joe Biden signed the 1994 crime bill. I'm pretty sure at one point he's not great on like gay marriage, but I think he like changed his stance recently. Regardless, but you know, a lot of lefties, at least the ones that are like in my sphere, my internet space, are very much understanding the pragmatism of voting for Biden and putting power there, while also um, building, uh, you know, local bridges and reaching out and organizing on the ground level, so that the ground level. Why did I say that? The ground level. Um, when you say words and they sound weird. So it's a like this isn't you know we know how bad Trump is, and I would,
Yes,
I'm a settle for Biden guy. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at. I
it's unfortunate, but yes,
yeah, I don't have enough confidence in the strength of any third party candidate. I really like Howie Hawkins. That dude is fucking top notch. He's got a great platform, but like the viability isn't there, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure that I don't have to fight under an actual a fascist regime as opposed to the whatever the fuck Joe Biden is, because
um,
liberal
Walmart fascist.
what Walmart
I said
fascist.
Walmart fascist. Yeah,
Christ. Oh, I was gonna say fat
I
diet fascism.
died fascism. I lost a little bit of video because my storage became full, so I had to go through and delete some stuff. So
Oh man,
hopefully we're all right.
we're
But
gonna
it's all right. I'll find a fun photo for my face.
fun
But
photos for your face.
fun photos. Yeah, so that's what we're dealing with right now with Supreme Court. One thing that we've seen that is very good is there has been two things: a surge of mail-in ballots since RGB's death,
Yeah.
and a surge of voter registrations. And I think what that is it's a lot of people who were also playing the sideline that lean left
Mm,
that are now realizing like, oh shit, like this election carries so much more weight than it did before. These are the privileged left that Trump's policies, they don't like Trump, but they also didn't really affect them, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Or people who are moderates, what have you. But now, now we're like, oh, this is like whoever becomes president is going to decide on the Supreme Court, and this
Yeah.
is going to mean a lot more than just the president. So that's a good thing. And there's a lot of murals and stuff going up. I saw one in Union Square in New York that just says, "Vote, do it for RGB."
Mm-hmm.
A big one. Um, so
Fuck, I had a thought.
yeah. Hmm?
I had a thought and then I lost it. But I had
Oh.
something to say. Fuck! I hate it. I hate when my brain does that. Um, maybe if I just keep saying words, it'll come out. But no, so we were talking about. You just started talking about RGB and murals. What was I about to say? What were you talking about right before that?
um,
Voter registration surge.
voter
Um,
registration and mail-in ballot search.
mail-in ballots, privileged left, liberals, moderates, and then oh god, it was such a good thought, and it was gonna. But anyway, we can cut that.
Oop.
Poop. I just pooped.
um, yeah, I'm gonna start rolling through the topics just because of our time here.
Yeah.
But so here's the next one. Um, what's happening right now is Facebook, two Facebook-based, also probably Reddit and 4chan, all those fucking things,
Mhm.
based militia groups, Kenosha Guard and Boogaloo Boys, are now subject to civil rights lawsuits
Really?
from the DOJ. Yep, because they're domestic terrorism, inciting violence against U.S. citizens.
Mm.
And this is all because of Kyle Rittenhouse shooting and killing two people, injuring a third during, in Kenosha. We've been over this whole thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the amount of publicity that Kyle Rittenhouse and this whole thing has gotten has now led the DOJ to open up an inquiry and file lawsuits against these far right radical groups that are like radicalizing young, white youths online.
yeah. Oh, nice. That's not a bad thing.
And I think it's through the DOJ, but the plaintiffs are actually like on the ground people. It says that four of them are BLM demonstrators, including the girlfriend of the slain protester Anthony Huber.
Wow. Hmm.
So the plaintiffs allege militia groups collaborated, planned, orchestrated an assault on protesters on August 25th. The defendants made it hard to differentiate between the militias and police, who appeared to be working in coordination.
Hmm.
Rittenhouse 17 has been charged with intentionally killing Huber and Rosenbaum and wounding Gage Grosskreutz. I don't know if I said his name right, but in a statement to NBC News, Rittenhouse's criminal attorney John Pierce and his client's said his client's actions were classic self-defense. Rittenhouse has not yet entered a plea.
Hmm.
We've been over this, but basically, whether or not, and I say this on a lot of posts and stuff like that, is whether or not it was self-defense is entirely subjective. It's whether or not you just are choosing who is the aggressor based on the video that we have.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Mhm.
all there is to it. When it comes to claiming self-defense in a court of law, Calvin House will not be able to, because Wisconsin's self-defense law is castle doctrine. First of all, that really only applies to your home as well. It's like stand your ground. It's really about your house. That's
Yeah.
why they call it castle doctrine, because your castle.
Right. Right. Right.
Anyway, it claims that you cannot claim self-defense in a court of law if you're in the process of committing a crime,
Hmm.
which Kyle Rittenhouse was. So
Gotcha.
that's where we are. But yeah, no, this is very interesting. That big pieces are getting involved here, and it seems like the left and some liberal and all that stuff have known about this far right radicalization online and the effects it's having on youth and stuff, but this might be the first time that the government is addressing it and really sort of shining a light and doing something about it, rather than saying, well, the FBI knew that it was far right people,
Right. Right.
but they didn't do shit.
Yeah. And that's
Now it's like, oh, this could actually be something. This could actually be worthwhile.
yeah, and that's at least a slight glimmer of hope that someone is taking this nonsense seriously, and that
Yeah.
at a certain point, I do hope that Plaid Bear is absolutely right, and that the American military is just like, yeah, nope,
Yeah, no.
like I
That sound is them dropping a nuke. Just
oh dude, they won't even need that, dude. Like they won't need that
yeah,
against those fucking
yeah. A10 go burr.
exactly. But I genuinely hope that he's correct, because
Yeah,
I hope that
same.
we continue. I like this. There's a lot of things right now. There are details that show that the powers that be are not confident that Trump is going to win this election, right?
Yeah,
Because Trump doesn't go to briefings and like is completely just like fuck that information. Joe Biden is already getting that information. Like there's
Yeah.
a report
Yeah.
that like they're already like, hey Joe, listen, we kind of know you're going to get the gig, so we're just going to fill you in real quick.
Which is crazy.
Which is nuts.
Definitely. That's some conspiracy shit right there that the president has planned.
Right. But then, and this action by the Department of Justice, is that's also awesome. Cool. Now
Hmm.
there's literally like some part of our government at least taking the issues of the bubbling, situation very, very seriously. Because I'm not confident right now with the people who are in Senate. Nancy Pelosi is fuck her. Fuck you, Nancy Pelosi. You suck. You're bad
Spineless
at your job.
skeleton.
You do nothing but let Trump have his budget. And I don't know why people are like, Yas, Queen, when you rip shit. Why did you wear those kente cloths? That shit was weird. Um,
It's cringy, bro.
so such cringe. And Chuck Schumer, you look like an angry vampire. Vampire in the daytime. Like, what do you? No, you are also
It's
useless.
time for some fresh blood. Democratic senators have introduced a bill that would set an 18-year term limit on Supreme Court justices.
Hmm.
18 years is still very long, but a term limit in general is like interesting.
I like that idea. Personally, I
Yeah,
think I mean, I don't know. I don't know how. Yeah, almost 20 years. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, that's pretty fucking long, bro. I mean,
It's a good
that's
amount
more
of
than half
time.
of my life.
Yeah, it's yeah, a little more than half of mine. And
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. I like the idea of term limits. Also, more term limits for
yeah,
Senate and Congress. Get Ted Cruz
more term
out.
limits for everybody.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Um, so how about this? um,
What do we got?
an giant rat earns Animal Hero Award for sniffing out landmines in Cambodia.
Go Giant Rat. I
Giant
want.
rat,
I need to
2020.
hold on. Giant Rat 2020. I'm gonna look up an image of this guy.
Oh, he's big. He's like the size of a small cat.
Yo, oh my boy's thick. That's a
Thick boy.
chunky
Um,
boy.
so
Oh, he looks so good.
here's what the article says. Um, an African giant pouched rat has been honored for his work detecting landmines in Southeast Asia with a gold medal from an international veterinary charity. The UK charity PDSA named Magawa this year's gold medal recipient for life-saving devotion to duty in the location and clearance of deadly landmines in Cambodia.
Dude,
The 7-year-old rodent is much larger than the average pet rat, but still light enough to walk on a landmine without setting it off.
that's so cool. That's so fucking cool. Because I'm looking at a picture of this little dude with his little medal. He looks like such a champion.
His name's Magawa.
Magawa, little champion.
He's discovered 39 landmines and 28 items of unexploded ordnance.
My dude is putting in work. Like, that is a really, really cool rat. Go, rat owners. I might change my tune on you because rats are smart. They're really, no, but they're
I'll
really
take.
smart animals. They're just like, they got
Yeah.
freaky little tails, and that's unnerving.
Little tails. So, oh my god, dude! I walked in on the way back to record this podcast, and I found a fucking mouse dragging a piece of bacon across my counter
Oh
because
god.
Norma had eaten some bacon this morning, but then put her plate on the counter. So I took it off the table on the counter,
Yep.
and so the rat had taken the bacon as the not the rat, the mouse was taking the bacon and was dragging it to his little fucking hidey hole.
That you gotta risk it for the biscuit sometimes. Like that.
Yeah,
That is a brave mouse. Mice
but
do not have a good time in my house because my cat is a he.
we have two cats too, but they don't go in the kitchen. So I keep telling Trish like, hey, we gotta start letting the cats in the kitchen because
Mhm.
like these mice are fucking out of control.
Oh man.
Like we have mice issues, and we're not even gross. Like I clean all the food stuff. I make sure there's nothing out. I mean, they will find a way. I think they live in like the bottom of like our sink cabinet.
Yep.
It's an old sink cabinet, so I'm gonna be replacing. I'm gonna be replacing that and buying like a new sink and new faucet and all that shit soon.
Nice.
Just gotta get the money together. It's like $500.
Oof.
But but yeah, That's fucking hilarious.
It's amazing. It's an
Hero rat, dude.
amazing piece of news. He that Look
Um,
up an image of that rat. We should put an image up because he looks like a goddamn
I'll put
champion.
an image up.
Yes.
Magawa.
Nagawa.
Yeah, to finish out here, because I've already invited you to it, but tomorrow at 10 p.m. is the fight between Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa.
Yeah. Fight time.
Yeah, I don't know how well versed our audience is
Ufk.
in UFK. Yeah, the UFC. You know, I call things that when they have anagrams or whatever you want to call them. I call them like by the anagram.
Mm-hmm.
So like if UPS is doing something, I'm like, oh look, it's the oops truck.
Oops.
But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting fight.
Watching the Mba?
Both of them are monsters. What?
You've been watching the Mba?
The Mba? Yeah.
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 Love the Mba.
Meh. But this is going to be a very interesting fight. Israel Adesanya is my favorite fighter. He is known as the last style bender, based off of Avatar: The Last Airbender. The reason why he's called that, is because he doesn't have like a distinct style. He's not like a grappler. He's not like a boxer. He's not this. He's not that. He's just like he just does anything, and whatever he does, it's to counter whoever he's fighting and what their style is.
Gotcha.
He's
so he's just
he is known as the New Age.
Bruce Lee.
No.
I mean,
he was another famous. He was another famous UFC fighter.
Benny Urquidez.
No, I want to say Nate Diaz, but it's not Nate Diaz.
Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva. Yeah, he's known as the new Anderson Silva.
Nice.
Which is like
that.
So he is 19-0 right now. He's the middleweight champion.
Nice.
He beat Robert Whittaker 2 fights ago.
Okay.
To win the middleweight, and now he's going up against Paulo Costa, and Costa is 13-0. So they're both they're
good guys,
undefeated.
Good fighters. So this is this is raring to be a good fucking match.
Yeah, and it looks like here are the openers for it. Light heavyweight, which is the co-main, Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz.
Okay.
The flyweight is Kai Kara France versus Brandon Royval. I actually know his name, Brandon Royval. I don't know who he fought. Was it Holloway? It might have been Holloway. The women bantamweight, Ketlin Vieira versus Sijara Eubanks. Don't know them.
Nice.
And then the featherweight is Hakeem Dawodu versus Zubaira Tukugov.
Cool.
I don't know most of them, honestly. I just know Brandon Royval's. Look, I'm gonna be honest. Like the amount of fighters that I know in the UFC is like pretty slim. Like I know Adesanya, I know Whittaker, I know Costa, I know Nate Diaz, I know like Max Holloway. I know Khabib, fighting? Obviously. Who?
I said, dude, my knowledge is so bad. I'm like, is Brock Lesnar still fighting?
What's his name is gearing up for a fight. This is boxing, but fucking oh my god, Lisp. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's gearing up for a fight.
Really?
He's 54. Yeah, he's gonna fight somebody.
What?
Mike
Tyson. Fighting Roy Jones?
Yeah, he's supposed to fight Roy Jones Jr. on November 28th. Yeah.
Old man fight.
Yeah, dude. Old man fight.
No, but these guys, I mean, I say that, but these guys both look like
humongous,
incredible shape. Yeah.
Insane. I wish I had that fucking. I'm not very big. Yeah.
I am an absolute unit.
So we're gonna watch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna host a Discord. We were thinking Twitch, but our Twitch team will probably get taken down if we do that.
Yep.
So we're gonna host a Discord. We're gonna stream it. If you want to hop in the Discord, chat with us. We'll watch the fight. It is tomorrow. Holy shit! You know what? I don't think we're gonna get this episode up. You'll have to make a TikTok.
Oh, true. Yeah, right.
Tomorrow at 10 p.m. because I'm like, holy shit, this episode's not going to be up in time. I'm an idiot. Um,
It might be.
but I want to endorse my friend's thing that he sent me. I told him that I would,
Yes.
and it's actually really cool. So this is my friend Grotto.
Grotto.
He majored in criminal justice and um, also has a master's degree in administration of justice. He's done a lot of things, but right now his focus is really on like um, parole and social work.
Okay.
So he's starting with a nonprofit, which is started by his childhood friend, um, Kunal Jha, who was at West Point for a long time. So he's military.
Mm-hmm.
And what his thing is about, it's basically supposed to be society reintegration for service members who were imprisoned.
Okay.
And it's to teach them real life skills and stuff like coding and engineering so they can acquire jobs,
Gotcha.
like trade jobs.
Cool.
So I think that's like a great opportunity. You know, you and I have spoken pretty at length about our views on the prison industrial complex, and so I think a big part of that, and also shifting to prison time being rehabilitative instead of punishment based, is to start having programs like this that will assist in prisoner reintegration, because what that does is it helps with prisoner with uh, not like cutting down on like reoffender rates,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Cutting down recidivism.
and that's a big thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's a part of cyclical poverty, is people who don't have skills to acquire jobs and they need to provide. I mean, that's what most crime is anyway. It's, poor people who can't afford to live, so they turn to a life of crime.
Exactly.
So now what this does is it keeps them from, just keeping themselves in this system, in this terrible system. So if you want to address poverty, this is one of the ways to do it.
Absolutely. And it's also like, this is, just another strengthening and emboldening programs like this that work on rehabilitating and giving people the skills so they don't have to go back to a life of crime is fundamental to continuing this conversation that we're having about reform and restructuring and possible abolishment, in some cases, my case, but a complete abolish and restructure of our policing system and our criminal justice system. Not abolish
Yeah, definitely.
our criminal justice system, but at least like the police, and then finding a way to restructure our crime and punishment attitudes. So, and the only way to do that is to create the new example, and this is a wonderful step towards that. So hell yeah, go support this.
Hell yeah. So if you have some skills to offer, by all means, if you feel like putting it toward a good cause,
One.
that's great. So,
but yeah, I'm excited for the fight later. That's going to be an interesting thing. But just to wrap up our lovely little podcast for today, don't panic. Check us out, youtube.com/Don't Panic Podcast, Spotify, Don't Panic Podcast, patreon.com/Don't Panic Podcast. We're here to talk about and give our opinions and hopefully give you some tips that'll keep you a little less panicked every Saturday. Bonus episode coming out later this week for our patrons. Join us in the Bone Zone. Patreon.com/Don't Panic Podcast.
sounds good. All right, everyone have a good night.
Yeah.
This has been an episode of the Don't Panic Podcast. Thanks for listening and making it to the end. If you want content creators like us to be able to continuously put out consistent quality content, we're going to need a little bit of help. If you subscribe to our Patreon, you get early access to all of our episodes and all of our bonus episodes as well. That's patreon.com/Don't Panic Podcast. We need as much help as possible to keep this thing going. Again, that's patreon.com/Don't Panic Podcast. And thank you again.